Far out in Yukon, Parker Schnabel's crew toils away in a somewhat less glamorous location, always digging for gold than how it appears on television. In my opinion, it will undoubtedly be a nail-biter, you know? We put in a lot of time. We collaborated, and we are hoping the results will reveal that their hourly wage is around $34. That seems good until you consider that they work in the scorching sun for 12 hours straight. Only $40,000 is theirs at the season's conclusion in the mining industry, aside from the expense of living and taxes. This is difficult. Not easy at all. Can you believe it? They just accomplished a major milestone. Come with us to uncover the truth behind their most recent and startling revelation. Parker Schnabel, the unseen battles of Parker's team. Although the activities at Yukon Mining appear glitzy on television, the workforce working behind the scenes experiences anything but. It's really annoying. In the merciless Klondike, they dig through soil around the clock, and if we're down, we lose around $25 every minute, give or take. Given the risks and strenuous physical demands of their job, their salary is a contentious issue. The massive quantities of gold featured in each episode of the hit Discovery Channel series Gold Rush captivate viewers. Despite the allure of the gold, the crew's real pay falls short. One piece of information on the economics of gold mining that Parker has made public is how much money his workforce makes. Having said that, some may find the figures puzzling. He pays the new miners on his workforce approximately $34 Canadian an hour, despite the fact that they risk their health and safety every day. This fee is fairly small considering the nature of the task, however it may not sound awful at first. To make the most of the lengthy daylight hours offered by their northern position, these laborers endure long shifts under the hot summer sun, working from early morning till nightfall. In the course of a 25-week mining season, an employee could make around $65,000 Canadian. However, the tale ends here. The real take-home earnings is closer to CD 40,000 once taxes and the basic living expenditures at the mining camp are taken into consideration. The show portrays this hard labor as very gratifying, yet this figure might make you think twice about taking it on. As the mining season goes on and daylight hours diminish, the shift timings change gradually. However, the physically hard aspect of the job remains constant. The work is still very taxing. Although Parker is renowned for rewarding exceptional employees with bonuses, the majority of employees do not experience substantial raises to their beginning salary. This exemplifies the harsh truth of manual labor, where dehumanizing working conditions frequently overshadow the promise of financial gain. The machine operators are currently attempting to bring Lucifer on board with all the equipment and personnel that are thrown into these difficult working conditions. We must not forget the mining operations' unsung heroes. They drive caterpillar-shaped rock trucks, which can transport ore loads of up to 50 tons to processing facilities. Schnabel has lofty goals for gold output, and their constant travel is essential to achieve them. Their knowledge and experience are essential, but only a select handful of these operators may make six figures. This is a lot of money, to be sure, but it's money that has to be won the hard way. Rather of focusing on the tedious process that goes into making gold, this scenario highlights the more visible parts of the industry. Although Parker is forthright about wages, it is nevertheless clear that the majority of miners do not share equally in the industry's profits. This glaring inequality is typical of the sector as a whole, since many people put in a lot of effort, but just a small number of people end up with the bulk of the money. Fans who have been captivated by the drama of the dig may now watch the show with a more nuanced perspective, perhaps even with some cynicism, questioning if the glitter of gold is worth the sacrifices made. Keep in mind that the pay amounts we talk about, particularly for tasks such as mining, are only approximations and not hard and fast figures. A pleasure for me. Either Big Tonka the Frog, playing with toys like the ones made by Tonka in your backyard while earning money for it. Just right. Sure, let's just step it up a notch now. Is it your current situation? I will accomplish it, Parker. I say we do this. Individual experience and concealed bonuses can have a significant impact on starting salaries. Further complicating matters is the possibility that these data will be published in Canadian dollars rather than US dollars. Look at how Parker had high dreams at a young age. Parker Schnabel's financial ups and downs. We begin our exploration of Parker Schnabel's financial journey by delving into his formative years at the Big Nugget Mine, a family business that had been passed down through generations. Even at an early age, Parker demonstrated an exceptional aptitude for operating heavy machinery, even before he could pull himself up to the pedals. With such a head start, it's reasonable to wonder how much he made in those early years and how much riches he has amassed since then. On July 22, 1994, a child was born in the frigid, isolated Alaskan town of Hans. It was there that Parker's family firm got its start in the mining industry. He became famous fast and amassed a reputed $15 million in net worth. His work in the men's and his prominence in the public eye combined to bring in this substantial cash. Pay for each episode of Parker's reality show typically falls between $10,000 and $25,000. His annual salary from televised appearances reportedly exceeds $1 million. This makes one question whether the show's financial benefits are adequate remuneration for the long hours and continual public scrutiny he endured throughout his career, which encompasses more than 330 episodes of Gold Rush and its several spin-offs. Before the age of 24, Parker had already mined about 60 pounds of gold in a single season. He was the proud owner of about $16 million in gold. Nevertheless, these estimates do not account for the myriad expenses connected with mining, such as wages for his workers, repairs to his machinery, and the toll that his activities impose on the environment. In addition to his celebrity on television and his mining accomplishments, he also has an extravagant style that is hinted at by his collection of antique and luxury cars, which includes models like the 1967 Ford Mustang GT500 and the Ford F-150 Raptor. Parker is now involved in more types of business. Shutting down is not something I am interested in doing. We worked hard for a long time to get to the point where I really enjoy my job. Profits are excellent for us. A mining corporation is owned by him. Authored works like his Gold Rush, My Story, and the Parker C.C. novels Gold Rush Alaska, which provide insight into his life during his youth, and launched a brand of mining equipment. All of these things make him look like a cunning businessman and a talented miner. As we go deeper into Parker Schnabel's financial tale, we see that the glamorous reality TV and physical wealth only paint a partial picture of his life as a fact miner, which is filled with long hours and heavy physical demands, continually monitored by television cameras. We are thus prompted to contemplate the actual monetary and emotional toll of gold mining, as well as the question of whether the appeal of gold can genuinely compensate for the challenging realities of its acquisition. Not only does such a lifestyle come with a brutal work schedule and monotonous responsibilities, but anyone thinking about following in my footsteps will also need to be ready to deal with the enormous gap that opens up between their public persona and the emotional struggles that accompany it. An ambitious gold miner named Parker recently made the claim that he had discovered approximately 7,000 ounces of gold, with a market worth of about $12.8 million. His mining season is coming to a close, and he is putting a lot of pressure on his team. He hopes they can swiftly amass a large quantity of gold. The objective is to amass substantial wealth rapidly enough that they can finance a repeat performance next year, in the midst of the brutal Yukon winter. Parker is still quite stressed out, despite these remarkable figures. He still needs 350 more ounces of gold to break his own record. An overwhelming task with limited time available. His fact manager Tyson Lee and his top technician and valued advisor Mitch Blaschke are his pillars of support. According to Mitch, they have spent more $5.44 million this year, more than previous, and they still haven't recouped their investment from Mud Mountain. Observe as Parker and his team encounter crucial tests. This is the season's final gold rush. But Parker and his crew don't give up hope. They are determined to continue even though the drilling is almost finished. Mitch and operator Damon Brown are about to lift the final load of earth that is rich with gold. Time is of the essence as they must pay off their large machine, Big Red, before the deadline. This is a pivotal point. At Mud Mountain, where they are about to finish up, Mitch praises Damon for all his efforts and says that maybe they should end operations. Their joy in turning off Big Red is fleeting. Their success or failure will remain unknown until Chris completes all necessary cleaning. After an expensive season, Parker tells his squad that their gold haul might not be too big. Because of this unfortunate news, they need to make a quick decision about what to do. In spite of their poor yield, Parker, ever the determined adventurer, recommends seeking out one last chance to amass wealth. We are still trying to outdo last year's record of 7,500 ounces. At the airport, Mitch made a big find of 281.500 when he decided to mine under a road. Inspired by this achievement, Parker chooses to relocate a wash plant to this potential location beside the river. Mitch rallies his squad for yet another full-throttle assault as they get ready. There is still time to turn things around this season, according to Parker, so they will be cleaning gold again. His reply captures both the optimism and the harsh reality of the gold mining industry. Despite the continual expenses and hurdles, there is a constant effort to discover more gold. There is very little downtime in between the several hours of labor. The team's cohesiveness is put to the test as they face the inevitable highs and lows of the mining industry throughout the season. You may speed things up by reenacting their highs and lows, which mimic the real-life ups and downs of seeking gold in the woods. However, yes, time frames have exploded. We were very off base with our expectations, weren't we? Striking it rich is their desire, and that dream keeps them going through the long days of hard work. Every ounce of gold they find brings them closer to their goal, but it also reminds them of the great cost they incurred. They labor together, dispute, and laugh about it. An enormous catastrophe brought about by the aggressive use of a bulldozer befell Big Red's pipeline. There was more than meets the eye here. A huge amount of water was released from the wash facility due to a major breach that ripped the pipeline in half. The operations supervisor, Nona, quickly summoned assistance since the system was rapidly depleting its valuable resources. The pipeline was ripped in half when the dozer snagged this. Everything on the wash plant came tumbling to a halt as this was pulled. The devastation was savage. The pipeline wasn't the only thing that the bulldozer grabbed. It tore it to shreds.